Alright, I'm checking in from good old Sweden in June. Good place to be, Sweden. Despite everything, still a nice place to be, especially in early summer. Now, I thought to elaborate on something that I mentioned ever so briefly in a recent video titled I Messed Up. And that is creating something of value, creating something that goes beyond mere profit, mere money. So first and foremost, everyone needs money, just as everyone needs to eat. But money is not enough, and if I want to give the best possible career advice to you, the best possible advice when it comes to a job, a vocation, everything like this, it's to make sure that you can create value beyond just money. So I will use a few examples to illustrate my point. Imagine that you have a doctor and he saves the life of a young child, a child of a couple that he knows. Maybe they live in the same village or small town or something like that, maybe in the same neighborhood. For the rest of his life, he will have the added value of the knowledge that he helped to save this family from a great tragedy. That is creating value beyond money. So yes, he will get his good salary, and he will also get the value, the reward, the knowledge that he has helped avoid a tragedy. To use another example, if you have a carpenter, he gets a commission to renovate a house in his vicinity. So he will get the money, of course, and then he will have the added value, the added benefit of perhaps every once in a while walk past that house that he helped renovate, and then he will see, yes, I did a good job here. I'm happy of my craftsmanship here. I'm happy about the added value I brought to this particular place. And this is important. It's extremely important when we're talking about creating a society built on love and not nihilism. Because if you have a society of strangers where no one really cares about one another, then you don't have this sort of added value. So this is if you have a tight-knit community where people actually care about each other. It is good because people are not built to be alone. It's a recipe for disaster, it's a recipe for unhappiness, and that is probably why so many people are unhappy now, despite, on paper, more material wealth. If we can even say that anymore, that's a different discussion, by the way. But my point is that humans are created to live in a community where you actually care about each other, where you have a shared vision, a shared story, a shared future, everything like that. That is how you create a good society. So, if we permit ourselves to dream a bit, were I the political leader of Sweden, alongside our king, of course, then I would erect a grand temple to Frey. Now, everyone who works on that temple, everyone from the architect to the builder to the ones transporting material, it will be in stone, by the way. It's more glorious than wood, and it will be created in a neoclassical style. It's simply more glorious. Everyone who works on the temple, the ones who supply food, the ones who set up shop in the vicinity to supply everything needed for this grand construction project. When this is done, everyone will take pride in it. Everyone who contributed in an ever so small manner, everyone will still know, they will have the knowledge that yes, they helped create this. So I actually use this as an example in Dauntless, the Cathedral of Uppsala, that this magnificent, beautiful building, close to my own heart, of course, because I've spent a lot of time there and in the vicinity. Everyone could look at that beautiful building and say, yeah, I was part of it. Maybe you weren't the architect of it, but you helped in some capacity at least. And this also brings us into what is considered lowly jobs, simple jobs, maybe not so glamorous jobs, such as being a street cleaner or whatever. Still, you can take pride in that profession because you know that you bring value to society, because you want to show a nice society to, maybe if tourists come to your city, your town, and they say, yeah, this is a well maintained place. These individuals who live here, people who live here, they should be proud of themselves. So you can have a quote-unquote lowly profession, but you can still gain value from it if you bring value, additional value to society at large. So this is nationalism, by the way. Nationalism means that you take pride in your nation because you contribute. Some people contribute in a great way. You know, you have geniuses and great architects and whatnot, but these individuals, they're also dependent on the rest of society, the farmer, the doctor, everyone else. Everyone who contributes in a positive way to society can feel pride in the achievements of that society. This is the foundation. Now, on a personal note, I thought about this as well, thought to mention it, that I'm quite happy after all. I've been demonetized for 6 years now on YouTube, meaning that I can't make money from making videos. So it doesn't really matter for me if a video reaches 1,000 people or 10,000 or 100,000 in terms of only money. It doesn't matter because I still don't get any ad revenue for it. However, I can bring value with my podcast, and I can also get an income from the podcast, and there I have to bring value, insights, knowledge, motivation. I need to bring value. I cannot rely on clickbaiting people, creating drama, black pills, outrage. So for me, actually, the choice is already made. Otherwise, if you're a content creator, you have two options basically. Either you rely on ad revenue for monetization, and then you want to get as many clicks as possible, and then you rely on constantly getting a lot of attention, even though you might not have anything of value to say. So that is one path, which is not a very good path, because you will not rely on creating actual value. The second path is to create value that is good enough so people actually are willing to pay for it, such as my podcast. So if I may be so bold, it's a great podcast, the greatest podcast even. Perhaps not the greatest, but it's quite good enough, and I feel comfortable charging for it. It's not a lot, it's only 3 gold coins per month, but still, it's a path I could take because I bring additional value. And this also, beyond the profit of it, it also makes me feel good that I create a work of art. So a podcast episode, it's for me a work of art. It needs to be good. I need to, put all of my thought process into it so I can present it to the world and say this is good value. And this is the main teaching of this video, that you do want to have a profession where you feel that no matter what you do, it can be a simple job or whatever it might be, as long as you feel that you bring some sort of value to a community, to a people, to a nation, that is good. And this also brings us into the point of a society of strangers versus a society where you actually care about each other. A society of strangers is not good. Now, of course, you can have exceptions, such as a cosmopolitan city, a trading city, everything like that. You have it historically as well, where you can be strangers, it's fine, but for most people in most places, you do want to live in a community where you have some sort of shared interest with the people around you, where you have a shared destiny, a shared story, shared values, shared ethnicity, everything like that. It's good for you to feel this way, and it's good for society as well. It's called creating a high trust society. And this, by the way, if we're talking about economy and money and business and everything like this, a high trust society is great for business. A low trust society is absolutely horrendous for business. So if you ever talk to one of these conservatives who are only concerned with the GDP or whatever it might be, tell him or her that, if you're so interested in economic development, a homogeneous society, a high trust society is better for business. So to conclude, the best possible advice I can give in terms of career, it's to choose something that you know that you can bring value beyond only money, because money is not enough. That is not to say that money is bad or anything. Money is great because you can do a lot of good things with money. With great money you can do a lot of good, and that can also be a way for you to create values. Even if you aren't happy with what you're working with, then use some of that money to create something good. Like I talked about in a recent video, if you're very wealthy, then do support initiatives that you believe can bring about positive change. And also important to notice that all jobs can be good if it helps create society, if it helps create society into something better. So if someone says this is a lowly job or anything like that, don't view it like that. Only view it in terms of, does this actually make society better? Yes or no? A simple question indeed. And true nationalism means that every productive member of society can take pride in the achievements of that society, because no man is an island. And lastly, just one more example. If you have one of these great construction endeavors, the creative energy going into that, it's an act of godliness. The amount of creative energy shared with so many humans around you, that is absolutely great. Now we're getting into the more spiritual territory, but it's extremely good for the well-being of humans to be engaged in a great project together. So a great number of humans coming together to create something great, that is, yeah, it's truly something special. Now, on a very last note, I will use an example that will also serve as the sponsor of this video. We're of course talking about the greatest clothing brand, Legio Gloria. It's something for me that is beyond mere money as well. It's something that I take pride in when I wear the garments myself. I choose the best possible garments, and those are the garments of Legio Gloria. If I see a stylish young man and he wears, with a straight back, and he looks confident and he wears Legio Gloria, it brings joy. That is added value as a clothing designer, that you see guys, they look good in your clothes. It's it's truly something special. So anyway, do subscribe to The Greatest Podcast. It's also a great way to support my holy work. Do check out legiogloria.com. Do read Dauntless and Demigod Mentality. So thank you for watching, and thank you for your support. XOXO. Boom.